Hey, I'm IVK. And welcome to my 90-day freedom build. Over the next 90 days, I'm sharing what it really looks like to build lifestyle and financial freedom in real life with real limitations. I'm currently pregnant, working, raising a toddler, and creating digital products through my brand LyfStyled. Each week, I document what I planned, what actually happened, and what I'm learning, so you can see how freedom is built step by step. This was week 2 of my freedom build, and it felt more promising. I had a clear list of CEO day goals and just enough energy to get them done. So what did I try to do this week? My focus was on making tangible progress. This week's goals were create a digital product and get it ready for soft launch, set up the LyfStyled online shop, and design content visuals for the weekly updates. On CEO Day, I dedicated my morning to building the digital product. I got it to a functional stage, which was about 70 to 80% done. Now, all I need to do is to align the new digital product with the LyfStyled brand by adding a summary dashboard for quick insights, creating a how-to guide, and creating platform-specific versions so users can choose what works best for them. What actually happened? Well, physically, I'm feeling the pregnancy more and more now. Going upstairs or taking brisk walks just leaves me breathless. I've learned to avoid overexertion and focus on tasks that let me rest my body while still moving my mission forward. On CEO Day, I completed 2 of the 3 goals. After lunch with my family, I worked from the couch instead of my desk, and surprisingly, it really helped. The smaller screen on the laptop forced me to stay focused on just one window that was open at a time. The different posture also gave my body the comfort it needed. I call it physical rest with mental momentum. I'm learning to adapt to my rhythm actually. Now I'm adjusting how I view CEO Day. Instead of expecting one long stretch of productivity, I've started breaking it up into pieces. My evenings have become a new window for me to work. Once my son has gone to bed, I have 1 to 2 hours to write, edit, or refine earlier work. And that helps me to stay on track without burning out. Let me give you an update on my transition fund. Well, it hasn't grown this week, but something important actually happened. My husband asked how much we needed to save for my extended maternity leave. He didn't know that this was already one of my 90-day goals. I showed him the calculation using my transition fund calculator. This is a tool that I built to make these type of conversations easier, even in moments when I have brain fog during my pregnancy. In just 3 minutes, we had clarity and it felt so empowering. Let me show you exactly how I calculated how much I need for my extended maternity leave by using this transition fund calculator that I created. You can find the link to this transition fund calculator in the description below. On the site, you will see that I explain what a transition fund is, and you have a short message from me, the creator. Now I can start by showing you how I use this tool in order to determine how much I need to save. My goal for this transition period is to actually just more or less take a sabbatical. I'll be gone, I won't be earning much, it will affect my income, so I want to know how much I need to save up for in order to cover those costs when my income is lower. It will happen in 6 months' time, but if you are planning to take a break that's going to take like longer than 6 months, or you want to take it immediately, your break, or you're going through a transition that is going to happen in 2 years' time. You have those options here. And then I click on next. Then this is where the fun begins. Over here, you put in the current monthly expenses that you are responsible for. And I have listed here the type of expenses that you should consider. But if you click over here, you can fill in each of these and they will be adjusted to sum up over here. So I'm going to make an example now. Let's say for my housing expenses, I pay 500, and then transportation, I pay 100 per month. These are all per month, say maybe 50. For my personal care, I spend 150. And my subscriptions, those are a lot. That's like 200. And so you add all of these type of expenses that you need into this. And if there's anything that I have missed and perhaps not listed as a separate line item for an expense, you can add over here at other. So maybe 500 for other. But this all gets calculated as you are filling it in. For me, I don't need to use this because I already know I contribute about 3,000 euros per month into our shared account. After the period where I have had my baby and now we start taking care of the baby, we are going to have more expenses. And I estimate about 3,500. So the expenses after my transition would have increased. For some people, the expenses after your transition might have decreased. Maybe you are now moving in with your partner and you no longer need to rent. So the rental costs would go down, or you now sharing a transportation with your partner, or you are starting a business, there's more costs. So any other expenses, you will find the very same list over here, which you can use. I then looked at, okay, what is the inflation rate? The current inflation rate for the Netherlands is at about, depending on where you read, you could read maybe 3.5% or 3.8%. So I decided to go with the middle ground and say 3.7%. I gave myself an additional buffer so that if I'm mistaken and I need more money, I have this extra buffer to take care of costs, or if these tariffs that have been spoken about during the past week go through and they send our prices shooting through the roof, then I need to account for something like that happening. My buffer was at 10%. Then the next question you should account for is if you will have partial income during this time. Partial income actually means you perhaps are going to do a freelancing job during your transition period, or you're going to take up and create a business, so you will be earning perhaps a subsidy amount. In my case, yes, I will have partial income coming in, and that is arranged through my employer. So I can say that I can contribute towards those expenses about 2,000 euros in order to cover my contribution. So I need to cover the remaining gap that is in between. Do I have any other alternative income sources? This could be like your shares, you get dividends, or you have a rental income, whatever other additional alternative sources of income that you have, you would go through the same process. So for now, that is none for me. I have already included my partial income on the top line. So all that is left is to say how long your transition will last for. So how long until your expected full income recovery? If you are going to be in transition for a period of 6 months, that's where you fill in 6 months. For me, this will be 3 months. I'm planning to take an extra 3 months. So in total, once my baby is born, I will have 6 months in total away from work. So I fill in 3 months. And I say calculate. Once you press calculate, you get the amount that you are supposed to be saving. Currently, this is 5,377 with 35 cents. For me, I have rounded this number up so that it's just easier. I will be saving $5,400 in order to cover the expenses of those 3 months when I am not available to work and my income is reduced. So if you're going through any type of transition, if you're going through any type of life-changing moment that also affects your income, come and check out the transition fund calculator and see how much you need to save so that you plan for your life. You plan for the freedom that you need and that you want for yourself. You are then not financially stressed during that free time that you have, and you can relax and enjoy the moment as it happens. And while we're talking about financial clarity, have you seen the latest headlines? The US recently announced a new round of tariffs with a 90-day pause for some countries, except China. And even with the delay, the ripple effects are already visible, shaking up supply chains, consumer confidence, and the way business operates around the world. Whether you're in South Africa, the Netherlands, or anywhere in between, you can feel it. Uncertainty is rising. That's why this 90-day freedom matters even more now. I can't control what governments do, but I can prepare for life on my terms by building tools, saving for transitions, and designing a lifestyle that doesn't collapse when the world shakes. Because when the outside world feels unstable, clarity becomes a form of freedom. Here are some wins and lessons from this week. This week, I had 2 small wins. I created a functional product from scratch, and I soft launched the transition fund calculator. The big lesson? A few focused hours can take you further than a full day of scattered energy. Intentional breaks help me to keep going when I hit functional blocks. And here are some insights for you. If you're building something too, try using your mornings for what matters most. Prep your tasks the night before. Break them down into chunks that get you up to about 80%. Then start the day with the most important task before you read your emails, notifications, or let any other distractions actually creep into your day. And here's a pro tip. Don't aim for perfect. Aim for done. Enough to keep moving. Let me ask you this. What's the one task you've been putting off? Try tackling 80% of it before lunch and see what happens. I'm sharing updates like this every week for the next 90 days. If you want to follow the journey or try the transition fund calculator yourself, the links are in the description below. So what's coming next week? Next week, I'll be creating content to walk you through the tools already available on LyfStyled, how to use them, when to use them, and how they help build lifestyle and financial freedom, one step at a time. This will be more digital work, which means longer hours at my desk. I'll need to be creative about how I break up the day and where I work from. Remember, building freedom isn't about perfection. It's about direction. I only got 75% of my product done this week, and that's a win because I'm one step closer to the life I'm creating. And I hope in your own way, you are too.